The second step for our silhouette toy is to trace the outlines and the wheel holes in order to make our shape, our 3D shape that we can print so that we can have our silhouette toy. So basically you need to have chosen a silhouette that works, you need to have traced it in, and now it's time to go into Fusion 360 and actually draw or trace out that image. So let's do that now. So here we are in Fusion 360. I'm going to look at this from the front view, the right view, in order to see my elephant in detail. I'm now going to create a sketch. Now, Fusion 360 works by creating sketches, and once you've created a sketch into a shape, and a shape is a closed area bounded by lines and curves and circles, once you've created that, you can actually make it 3D. So let's work around. I'm going to create the sketch. I'm going to create the sketch on the same plane as the elephant, which is going to be the red, the blue and the green plane, like so. And now I'm going to be able to draw my sketch. You see up here, the menu is context driven. I'm now in the context of working in a sketch. So I'll have this particular thing in here. If you don't see this here, you haven't created your sketch properly. Pause the video, go back and watch it again. So we have two main tools we're going to use in order to be able to draw our sketch. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play with our default settings right now. I want the spline, so I'm going to move over here. I'm going to basically click on this little box, the three little dots that appear here. I'm going to pin this to the toolbar. So the spline is going to be important. For the purposes of this video, I'm probably going to get rid of the polygon. So if I click on the polygon here and just drag it away, drag it right away, there you go, it's gone now. So now I've got my tools in what I'd like to use. So I'm probably going to get rid of the center point arc as well. I don't use those very often, but I do use the line, the circle, the mirror tool, the rectangle, the dimension tool. I use that a lot, and I use the spline a lot. So for this tracing exercise, however, we're going to use either the line tool for straight parts, and we're going to use the spline tool for curved parts. Let's start off by just putting in the straight lines that I want. And I could actually go right around the elephant with lots of little clicks and draw straight lines all the way around there. You can see it's a bit snappy. So coming in and zooming up and working my way all the way around the line and drawing lots of little lines there. But that gets a bit clumsy and the shape will look a little bit wrong. So I'm going to press Command Z. I'll press tick to close that off. And I'm going to press undo button up here until those all go away. Instead, I'm going to use the spline tool. So I'm going to start at this point around here for my elephant's trunk. And I'm going to click my way along the line. And as you can see, it sort of creates a nice looking curve that follows my elephant all the way around. I can use my mouse to get to the point where I want. Where the curves are tight, you use a few more clicks of the mouse. Where the curves are long, you don't need to do that. So I'm going to go all the way to that point there. Now I want a little sharp crease there, I want a sharp edge. If I move it around like that, you'll see it'll be a curve. So I'm going to press tick to end that. And then I'm going to go back over that point again so that little blue square appears. And then I'm going to continue my curve all the way around to the tip of the tail. And you can see there, that'll do, there. I don't need to perfectly follow my tracing, I just need to follow it. So I'm going to tick that off, and then I'm going to draw in just from that little point there, around up onto that little point there, underneath the tail. And now I need a straight line. So I'm going to draw a straight line, making sure that I hover over that last little box where I finished off, and the blue box appears around it, so it locks to it and comes down like so from here to here. Now I'm going to make a deliberate mistake here. I'm going to press tick to take that line there, and I'm going to start my spline away from here a little bit. I'm going to work my way around here like so. So I'm deliberately making that mistake. You don't want to do that. So coming up in here, and of course that's going to be a crease. So I'm going to tick that box off there. Make sure it locks to here and bring it back in round. I can do this curve in 2 dots. tick. I'm just going to do this with a spline. I'm not going to use the straight line. Just use a few more just to get it. Probably should use a straight line for this section, but being a bit lazy, I'm going to tick that one off so I get a bit of a straight part around here. I'm going to do a bit of a detailed section here, so I'm going to zoom up on that section there. So it's going to come up to about here. I'm going to press tick. I'm going to use the straight line tool here to go down in a V shape and back up in a V shape, and press tick. And then I'm just going to bring that curve with 3 points along there. It's a bit hard to see now because I've got all that stuff on there. Oh, I didn't. I should have done that with a curve. Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. Fit point spline. That one there. To that one there. There we go. And I should press the tick button, and that should be fine. Now, I didn't close this over here, remember? So my elephant's not quite right. I can turn my canvas off now, and that gives me a better view of what I'm looking at. And you can see that I've got lots of black points, but I've got two little white points here. The white points are open points, so I'm going to press escape so that nothing is selected up the top. And I'm just going to click and drag one of those points to the other one. And that didn't quite lock. Zoom up. There you go. Now it's locked. And you'll see that the inside of the elephant is now blue. And that means that it's a closed shape. So you want it to go blue in the middle. Turn the canvas off, you'll definitely see it's blue in the middle. Okay, now time to put the eye on. The eye is just going to be a circle. It's going to be around about there, like so. And I probably should put the wheel holes on as well. So I'm going to put the wheel holes, they're a bit high. I'm going to put the wheel holes down here. The wheel holes have to be 8.5. So I'm typing in, I've drawn the circle, and still moving it, but I'm typing in 8.5. 8.5 again, and pressing enter, and that'll be set at 8.5 millimeters. Now I'm going to draw the circle over here roughly at also 8.5 millimeters. Okay, now those aren't perfectly straight in line, so I'm going to use this funny tool here, the horizontal and vertical tool, and that will lock the midpoint of this circle, or of this circle and this circle here, and it will lock them in line. Now, if I'm not happy with the location of that, I'll press escape, so nothing's selected. I'm going to press on the midpoint of that, and I can drag it up, and you'll see that it drags those up together because they're locked together. So I'm going to put them about there, like so. That should be fine. So now that I've done that, I've finished my sketch. I'm just going to do a quick home view. So over here, there's a home button, and I'm now going to click on extrude. Click on my elephant, type out 25 millimeters, and enter. Done. I now have my elephant. I'm going to turn my canvases off. My elephant is there, and it's done, and it looks quite good. So that's all we need to do in order to make our shape, a very basic shape, but our shape, and that, if we wanted to, is ready for 3D printing. But we'll look at a few other ideas first before we start getting ready for 3D printing.